Heyo, buenos dias, papi. Yeah, that's right. It's like 6 something in the morning, and your boy just got done working out. And as you can see on the video pod, I'm still in my workout. I'm in my tie-dye thing that gets me a lot of weird looks. This hoodie gets me a lot of strange looks. People think it's like a band. It's the Black Keys. They have a hoodie. It's like tie-dye. And it's got some interesting writing on it, and for some reason I think people will generally think I'm either a drug abuser or a gang member when they see me wearing it. So I like to wear it in the gym and just assume an alter ego, if you will. And anyway, it's cool, man. It's a cool hoodie. I like it. It looks cool, doesn't it? So anyway, you can only see it if you're looking at the video pod, which is a new installment to the podcast, and I'm hoping that this is the final revision of all of the revisions that I've made to this podcast. I just want to get it. I'm sorry that it keeps focusing like that. I just want to make it better and better and better for you guys. And, I just plan to have more guests, plan to make this a lot more easy for me, because the thing is about doing a podcast is you'll never guess how hard it is to do a podcast. It's actually... Well, produce a podcast is hard. Well, actually sitting there like I do it is hard too. Like, it's hard to sit down and talk to yourself for an hour. You'd be surprised. And it's taken me a lot of practice. But anyway, so yeah, man, I just want to bring you guys up to the latest on the podcast. And, dude, honestly, I feel like the biggest struggle with the podcast lately has been just narrowing the conversation to one topic or another, because there's just so much going on currently. Like, there's the war, there's the East Palestine thing, the environmental disaster. I won't even call it a thing. I've actually been seeing a lot of people rallying support, and like these Twitter groups that are starting to form. There's it's called United for EP. It's a Twitter handle. You guys should check it out. There was a guy on there named Alex, I think Felipe is his name, and he's boots on the ground over there in East Palestine, and he's got like a group of people that I think started the United for EP thing, and since then they've just got more and more help. They've got doctors and scientists on board now, and hopefully people will be able to. They've already done sampling of the groundwater there and determined that the dioxins, which were the most concerning of the chemicals that were spilled from the train derailment, those are in the millions of, or it's like beyond, in the millions of the parts per million that humans should be exposed to. It's far beyond that threshold. And I'm hoping that somebody's going to come up and do something about this. Like, the EPA is involved. Norfolk Southern, who's the train company, is involved. I know we talked about this last time with Trenton, and that was an excellent podcast. I'm sorry, this shit. Like, do you see it keep focusing like that? Dude, I need you to relax. Is it done? I think it's done. Okay, sorry. The camera keeps focusing in and out. I'm trying to get used to this, guys. Remember, I'm doing it by myself. It's still going. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm doing the best I can. If any podcast producers out there want a job, holler at your boy. It's a free job. It's not a paying gig. Still a student. So yeah, that's I guess that's about it, man. Like, it's not about it. I don't know why I said that. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to the situation. Is that it's just the common like thing that the government is supposed to be there to help. They have an organization called the EPA, which is the organization that's in place to help. And where's the help? And instead they decide, let's just blow up this shit. Like, the stuff's gonna leak out, and it's sitting there alone. They said that it would eventually just explode and probably be even worse. So they were like, we'll just blow it up ourselves. I guess that's a good plan, but how about the first thing is let's get these people out of here. You know what I mean? Like, and I think they also determined that it wasn't just the East Palestine area that was affected. They've sampled groundwater and the air for like hundreds and hundreds and thousands of miles, I think. A lot of area, like all the Northeast, like all that up there, like near Canada, even like all of it is affected, I think. So, so that's really good that we have so many. I think this is honestly like my biggest, this is what I'm cavaliering right now is like, how is it we have so many government agencies that are responsible for something, and the common man, the layman, someone that is totally uninvolved, has no idea anything about the agency or the background, like how do you conduct environmental tests? Like I wouldn't even tell you how to do that, But I can definitely tell you like some common sense things that should come in. You know what I mean? And that's the part on behalf of the government that just like on all of the agencies that I just get lost in. I'm like, where is the common sense part? Like the response to COVID. Oh, just start jabbing people in experimental vaccine? That's the answer? It's the answer because you guys got a 10% on the profits. That's why it's the answer. Speaking of, I don't know if anybody cares anymore, but I'll say during 2020, 2021, 2022, see, now we're going to COVID. See, I can't stay on one thing because there's so much shit going on. Like this data that just came out about the vaccine, the VAERS, the vaccine injury report, and, man, the masks, like there's so much shit that's coming out right now that's just like, oh, really? You mean the thing that everybody was saying from a long ass time ago, from like January 2021? Like that part, that's the part. Like I'll never forget. Dude, don't make me get petty right now, okay? I'll never forget this one date that I went on. And well, she wants to know if I was vaccinated, and I wasn't at the time. At the time, I had this camera. I'm freaking about to scream. Hold on. See, the thing is, I also don't want to get it too close. I don't want you guys seeing all my flaws and gray hairs. I'm trying to get gray hair. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding about that part. I think I saw a white hair on my beard the other day, though. All right. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I really do the best I can here with the podcast, man. I really, really am. Like, you got to remember, I've been all over the place, I'm constantly moving around for school. So I just I'm doing the best I can. All right. Give me a break. It's going to get more consistent though. Promise you that. Especially once I start having guests, I'm trying to line those up like for real. I know I keep saying that. Anyway. So I'll never forget. Let me get petty real quick. Let me get on my petty soapbox real quick. I'll never forget going on this date and this girl inquiring about my vaccination status, which when did that start? When did we just start asking people's private medical information? Well, the pandemic. So this girl says, wait, you're not vaccinated? Because at the time I wasn't, like I said. I'll get to that later. But yeah, so I wasn't vaccinated at the time, and I started explaining to her why. Only after I explained to her that what I really want to do in medicine is oncology, because I have some personal incentives that align me with that field of study, and I'm very passionate about the system, like hematology and oncology. I'm still very passionate about helping patients with cancer. And I explained that to her, and, her immediate rebuttal to my to my vaccination status and my flat out refusal to receive the vaccine based on my own research that I explained to her, based on my own conventional wisdom, which would just tell me that a 10-year this technology that was developed 10 years ago can't possibly have had human trials, and we know it hadn't. And it was approved under an Emergency Authorization Act, which means that all the companies that are behind it are not not responsible for any damages. So that tells me that if you know you are young, healthy, and you're out of this risk population, you're better off to get the virus, allow your natural immunity, which those antibodies are 16 times stronger and last longer than the antibodies that are created from the vaccine. Plus, now you've got more and more data coming out about the toxicity of that spike protein and what the mRNA, something about the, if you follow Dr. John Campbell on YouTube, you know all about this. Like he's like this is the guy, like this is the guru. Like if you want to know anything about the vaccine or anything about COVID origin theories and all that kind of crap, like, and by theories, I mean the ones that are propagated by the media that clearly are just clearly it's lying on behalf of the pharmaceutical company who they are receiving 10% profit from, so they can continue doing this. Like, it's just super obvious, right? You just follow the paper trail. So all of this, I tell her, and it's a peaceful conversation. You know, she tells me, you know, well, I thought that, like, you know, you want to be a doctor and you want to help people and all this. And I'm like, well, me not getting the vaccine doesn't matter for anyone because they've already shown that it doesn't confer immunity. So if I don't have the vaccine or I do have the vaccine, it makes no difference to anyone else. They want you to believe that. They want you to believe that if you're vaccinated, you're protecting people. And they told us that. It was a lie. And the data shows you it's a lie. And all I did was look at the data. And that's what I did, was share this with her. And when I ask her similar things, like, tell me what it is that you're saying that supports me having to get this vaccine. And, you know, she went so far as to tell me that, like, just her own opinion that, like, how could I say I can? Oh, she was a nurse, or she was in nursing school, I think, at the time. And she said, like, that she would be, like, I don't remember her exact words, but it was something to the effect of, like, I'll never work with you. I could never, like I'll make sure, like, in the future that, like, no one ever like that, like, you are not a doctor taking care of the people that I care about and, like, the patients that I love and blah, 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 like this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, yo, I just told you about how much I love to help the people that are kind of suffering the most, which everyone agrees is patients with cancer. I have a hard time with that sort of rhetoric. I think that all people are suffering if they're sick, you know, like, just because someone has cancer, everyone's like, no, dude, you don't want to do oncology. Trust me on that. It's really, really sad. It's going to be heartbreaking every day. Are you really going to be able to handle that? You really going to be able to take it? I'm like, it's totally cool. Like, I mean, everybody's sick, man. Everybody, it's sad. Everybody's sad. Like, everything is, I mean, well, how come they're any different? I mean, this is coming from someone that has, like I said, personal incentive and a deep sensitivity to that disease and the complications that it causes. We'll get into that another time, sure. But anyway, so I tell her all this, and that's her rebuttal. So I would love to know, just while I'm getting petty right now, what she thinks about this little article right here. So check it out. We got this article here. I mean, I have several. This one isn't the vaccine, though. Hold on. Let me kind of look around. I have so much. Oh, yeah, this one. I really want to show you guys this one. Okay, it's called Hold. We could check this first. So there's so much funny shit too, man. I don't even know where to start. We can start with this. So this is from the New York Times. I am literally on the NewYorkTimes.com. Okay. I'm on their website, and I honestly never thought I'd see myself here because of the amount of propaganda these motherfuckers promote. It's absolutely obvious. And so the headline of this, now this came out March 17th, 2023. And the New York Times wants you to know that scientists and spy agencies have tried for years to determine where the coronavirus originated. Conclusive evidence is hard to come by, and the nation's intelligence officials are split. There were parts of this that are really just really shocked me. And it was more of an opinion article than it was anything factual. The part I really love was this at the end. Let me read you this part. So all of this is just the standard propaganda, the standard stuff. Same thing that MSM and Washington Post and just anything. Anything that's not Matt Taibbi, Greg Greenwald, Breaking Points, Aaron Mate, Max Blumenthal, Jimmy Dore, anything that's not any of that, it's literally propaganda. So that was the whole beginning of it. And then it gets to this part, which I really love. And this is the new thing they want you to believe, is that it didn't come out of the lab that is studying. It didn't come out of the Wuhan Institute of Virology lab that's specifically studying the coronavirus. It's actually this raccoon dog. That's right. You heard me correctly. New York Times breaking. It wasn't the pangolith or whatever, pangolin. Pangolith? What the fuck's that? A rock? It wasn't a pangolin. It wasn't the lab. It was raccoon dogs, guys. There were raccoon dogs out there spreading all the coronavirus. You know that? So on March 14th, my birthday, some of the scientists who had published studies pointing to the Hunan market offered more data. Oh my God, they're so fucking ridiculous with this. They said their new findings were consistent with the spillover hypothesis. Okay, perusing a database in which genetic sequences of coronaviruses are shared, the researchers discovered that Chinese investigators had quietly uploaded their data from their January 1st, 2020 search in the Hunan market after a delay of more than 3 years. What a coincidence. How convenient. The data included all the genetic sequences the investigators collected, not just those from coronaviruses, and it included DNA from a wild species called the raccoon dog. The researchers told WHO, which is in bed with all these people that I'm talking about. Don't trust the WHO. That finding is at odds with claims from Chinese authorities that wild animals were not sold at the Hunan market. Raccoon dogs are vulnerable to coronavirus infections. 2 decades ago, they may have served as the so-called intermediate host for another coronavirus, the one that caused the SARS epidemic. The discovery of raccoon dog DNA at the market, if confirmed, would not be definitive proof that the animals were brought to the market harboring the coronavirus that started the pandemic, though the researchers found it striking that the raccoon dog DNA came from a stall that was also positive for SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID. So after the scientists discovered the raccoon dog, don't look at the camera right now, dude. Like I'm legit freaking out. The newly uploaded sequences were removed from the database. It is not clear why that happened. Wait, what? After the scientists discovered the raccoon dog DNA, the newly uploaded sequences were removed from the database. It is not clear why that happened. The scientists are preparing a report of their findings. Okay. I'm just telling you, they said that the reason they think it's from the raccoon dog is because they found, hold on, the discovery of raccoon dog DNA. Just the DNA of the dog. The dog was there, so the dog killed Colonel Mustard in the closet with the lampshade. You know? Like, what the fuck? What kind of scientist is this? But the researchers found it striking, it says, that the raccoon dog DNA came from a stall that was also positive for COVID. Man, dude, we got some real science going on here, guys. This is really... Why do some people suspect a laboratory leak? In October, Republicans on the Senate Health Committee published an analysis of the origins of the pandemic that argued it was most likely the result of a research-related incident, while acknowledging that the conclusion was not intended to be dispositive. Many of its assertions were echoed by House Republicans who held a hearing in early March outlining the case for the lab leak theory, and they have a link to that, which if we want to get into it, we can. The Republicans' report spotlighted what its authors described as holes in the natural origins theory, as well as persistent biosafety problems at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. They were cited for safety violations in 2018 and 19, I think, just that very year. The very year. The report, though, relied largely on existing public evidence rather than new or classified information, and did not produce evidence to... Why would that matter? And did not produce evidence to show that the Wuhan Institute stored any virus that could have become the coronavirus causing COVID with or without scientific tinkering. Well, plenty of evolutionary biologists have studied COVID, and they have zero doubt that it was man-made. I mean, they have zero, like, there's cleavage sites on the virus, on COVID, SARS-CoV-2, that infer that this was man-made. I mean, you just can't get away from that. Unless the raccoon dog did it. Unless the raccoon dog was in the fucking lab sitting on the bench with a little micro pipette, and he's doing little serial dilutions and figuring out, you know, how he can fuck the world and get everybody on board with this vaccine. I don't know. Maybe it was the raccoon dog that did all that. Maybe it was the raccoon dog that was talking to Fauci and telling him to lie in front of Congress to us about the effects of the virus or the effects of the vaccine, and whether or not it was actually studied, and whether or not it's actually efficacious, and whether or not they manipulated any of the data, all of which he lied about. Read the book, The Real Anthony Fauci by Robert Kennedy, and you will see for yourself. So anyway, dude, I'm not bitter about it. It's just like, that's fucked up. It's fucked up that I had to take that shot, and that dude just sits there and lies about shit, and to the point where the whole world gets on board, right? They're like, no, we have to do this. We must shoot everybody with this vaccine because the virus is so deadly. It's dropping people like flies. And like everybody that gets it, like anecdotally, everyone's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like I had it. I already had it and it was fine. Like, you know, so, continuing on. But some experts said the inability to find an infected animal did not prove anything because China shut down the market and killed all of the animals before they could be tested. In 2018, this like again, like why is the government's response like, let's do whatever lacks the most common sense? That's our go-to plan. That's plan A. Let's destroy the evidence, and so we don't have a chance to investigate what happened. It's great. In 2018, before the pandemic, the Wuhan Institute and its partners, including EcoHealth Alliance, evil motherfuckers, a research group whose work has been financed by the United States, sought Defense Department funding to collect and experiment on coronaviruses with novel traits that would make them highly transmissible in humans. We already know that they did that. They lied about it. The group's project was, there's emails, man. Like, and everyone's like, oh, it's a conspiracy. In the beginning of this shit, it says, let me go back and show you. Where the hell is it, man? Didn't they say that? Conspiracy. It says COVID's origins, a lab leak, was once dismissed by many as a conspiracy theory for the origin of COVID-19, but the idea is now gaining traction, even as evidence builds that the virus emerged from a Wuhan market. Man, here we go. Okay. All right, let's not get too sidetracked, but I'm going to just create another tab for that little part. Talking about new evidence about emerged from the... I guarantee you it's something about a raccoon dog doing something. Oh, man. I'm starting to get really, really hot. I'm starting to get really hot in here with the anger, the frustration, and the annoyance. That's stupidity. All right. The group's project was never funded, it says. We know that's a lie. And they reported that today, March 17th, or just the other day, March 17th, 2023. They reported it as the group's project was never funded, but they are journalists. This is the New York Times. They're a newspaper. Everyone else knows. Everyone else knows about the emails. Everyone else knows about the Twitter files and the FBI censoring people's anecdotal vaccine related injuries. Like literally the government, hey, could you, FBI, literally, hey, Twitter, could you guys take down that one post that says something about like my dad had a heart attack 3 hours after he had the vaccine? And Twitter's like, yeah, man, no problem. We got you covered. Ding, flag, delete, whatever the fuck they do, like shadow ban or suspended or whatever the hell. You know, man, I don't know. I got a real big problem with that. I got a real big problem with living in the time of, quote, fascism and like, I mean, like, what's that saying? Like, cauldron calling the kettle black or something like that. Like, the fuck is it? It's like a kettle calling the it's like a cauldron calling the kettle black or something. The pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, it's like, it's hypocrisy. So I'm so hot, dude. I'm so hot. Like I said, I just got out of the gym. I also have a lot of anger that consumes me when I read this shit. It's entertaining anger. It's not real anger. And I want everybody that's watching this to know, that's considering me for residency, that I'm not, I'm just trying to be entertaining, guys. Okay. Like, I'm not really a psychopath. I'm an unhinged entertainer, not an unhinged psychopath. You know what I mean? I'm an unhinged educator because I'm not even trying to be entertaining. I'm just trying to educate. Just kidding. So it says the group's project was never funded. We know that's a lie. And so does New York Times. And they still wrote that sentence. That sentence is there. It's March 17, 2023. Everybody knows that EcoHealth Alliance, Peter Daszak, the guy who they were just talking about, was sending emails with Anthony Fauci, and they were talking about the funding, and they were discussing how it was being funded, and they were discussing the amounts, and they were discussing all the receipts and transactions and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know why the New York Times missed it. Like, I don't know how Justin Moreira is here in Miami, and he got it, and he doesn't do any journalism. I have no time for anything like that. But I didn't miss that, dude. I didn't miss that there were any emails sent. That's weird, huh? It's kind of weird for you guys, New York Times. Kind of weird. So, but the Senate Republicans report noted that the coronavirus has traits similar to those the researchers were looking for. That has persuaded some scientists that a lab leak was possible. The report surmised that the virus may have escaped, perhaps by injecting a researcher who carried it outside the lab. Oh, infecting. Oh, shit. I said injecting. False alarm. If that was injecting, well, first we'd have to blame the New York Times for spreading conspiracy theories, because that would be a conspiracy theory. You're telling me that the government willfully injected a researcher hoping that it would be carried out into the world and get everyone else sick, so that way we would have to take the vaccine and the government could profit off of it and come out of this humongous debt crisis that they're in? I don't know if there's room for possibility of that theory, but it is just that, a theory, and it is definitely, you can call that a conspiracy theory. I guess that makes me like, I don't know. They put you in a box for that. You're Republican or like neocon or neo-Nazi, or you belong to a fascist group. If you're trying to find the truth, you belong to a fascist group. If you're the one trying to censor, you're on the side with the good guys. Man, I mean, I really could go on and on. Obviously, this says the National Institutes of Health paid for some of EcoHealth Alliance's work in Wuhan, but NIH officials have repeatedly said NIH is also NIH actually, they're the ones, we kind of like them, like they're the ones who outed Fauci, and we're like, no, bro, like we're not gonna carry your water, like you lied, and we're gonna we're not gonna also lie for you. So NIH is kind of cool, but still sus. But it says NIH officials have repeatedly said the virus is being studied with American taxpayer dollars bore no genetic resemblance to the one that causes COVID. But we know that's not true because we have the coronavirus, guys. Like it's not a different coronavirus that was in 2020. Like it's a different variant and different strains. But we have all of them, and we can see consistently that there's cleavage sites, which means someone took instruments and manipulated the exterior of the virus, and that's literally says that they didn't, but I just don't know how you could. I don't know where the journalism comes, guys. New York Times, I don't know where you guys start journalizing, but Dr. Lawrence A. Tabak, the NIH's acting director, acknowledged during a recent congressional hearing that he did not know what other work the Wuhan Institute was doing. Okay, anyway, I've had enough of this. Woo! Shit is making me hot, bro. I really can't. It's just, I don't know, man. I just think about like being in the hospital and working with everybody, and working with doctors and working with nurses and working with other students and all my colleagues, and just how confusing it is that as a medical institution and as a society of medical professionals, the ones who are supposed to be the stewards of health in our community, and we're the ones just going along with it and not saying anything. Like, yeah, I mean, dude, like, how could you even tell? I mean, these doctors that are telling people to get the vaccine is just, again, like if you have a comorbidity and you have like those issues, and I'm not about to start giving like medical advice, but it has already been reported that those are the individuals that are suffering the most, and they're the ones that could potentially benefit from the vaccine. The problem with that little caveat, or there's a little caveat that makes that a problem. If you get the vaccine and it saves you from getting coronavirus, which would just kill you with like some sort of viral pneumonia that causes some sort of like myocarditis or pericarditis or some sort of thing, some sort of cardiopulmonary resuscitative issue. Okay, is that better than whatever whatever ingredients and the toxicity of the spike protein that's just causing endarteritis in your vessels and causing the myocarditis, like the vaccine related myocarditis, which is way worse? I don't know. I want those studies, but I'm just saying, like, as a doctor, and I guess it comes down to your approach, right? Like some doctors are going to be more, ruling with the iron fist, and they're going to be like, no, like, I'm God, you will listen to me. You need to take this vaccine because I read one study. Then I guess there's other ones like me that are a little bit more conservative in their approach, that are just like, hey, let's wait for some studies. You're not dying right now. If you get coronavirus, I'm fairly certain we have all the drugs available: ivermectin, resveratrol, remdesivir, or resveratrol, no, Pavloxvid or whatever. There's a bunch of them now. Everyone's got their own little version of ivermectin, and that's all they did. After, of course, they profited on the vaccine, which doesn't work. Shouldn't even be called a vaccine. They changed the definition of vaccine to fit the COVID vaccine, which is great. I love that we can just play with the truth like that. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing that the progressive left in this country did with racism. They just redefine what racism means. It's like, no, you can't punch up. You can't be racist towards the majority. So that means like you can always be racist towards white people. It doesn't matter. There's this guy on Twitter. His name is Stu Peters. Yo, what in the fuck is with this guy? Let me show you this. This guy's off the rails, man. Yo, Stu Peters off the rails, son. I need some coffee. Hold on a second. Let's get a little coffee, guys. Oh man, here we go. Look. I pulled up Twitter. The first thing, it's this man, Stu Peters. If this guy isn't a Fed, I swear to you, like, then he's brainwashed. If he's not a Fed, he's brainwashed, and he thinks that this shit is real. Like, he's always tweeting about, like, he'll find a video, okay, of like someone walking through the mall and like them getting like sucker punched or something. And it'll be a white person that's walking and then a black person that punches them. And then he'll be like, the race war is starting. Do you see the war on whites has begun, blah, blah, blah. It gets so many likes, so many retweets. Thankfully, I've been in the comment section and I've shot my shot, but there's other people that also have things to say that thankfully align with what everyone I hope would think, which is like, dude, you are ridiculous. You are this, like, here, I'll tell you one of the comments I left actually. How do I even do that? I seriously don't know how to Twitter. I don't really know how to Twitter. I know a lot of people like talk back to me and stuff and like talk a bunch of shit. Let me see. He has, one thing I like about him is it says he's the executive producer of hashtag. Okay, actually, I don't like this about him. I was going to say, man, this guy freaking. Yeah. So, man, he posts so much. I'm trying to see. How do you, can someone teach me how to Twitter? How do you find your comments? Do I just go to my Twitter? I'm so dumb, man. Alex Felix, not Felipe. Alex Felix. That was the guy, United for EP. This is the thing I was talking about, guys. This is great. You want to listen to it for a second?
The problem is that felonies were committed. The problem is aggravated arson is a felony. Poisoning is a felony. A conspiracy to cover up any of those felonies is also a felony. Anybody participating, anyone with knowledge that these people have been poisoned, who is actively participating in covering up that these people have been poisoned, is committing a felony. Everybody who is aware that Norfolk Southern set all these other things on fire that they did not have any permission to do, which caused harm to people, and is covering that up and helping them covering up, is committing a felony. The problem, is
so that was about Norfolk Southern, and this is the group I was telling you about. Alex Felix is actually in Nevada. He's in Las Vegas, but this person, Jenna Giannos, she's from Ohio. She's from East Palestine, and she's trying to do what she can. I know they've got a group together. I think this is the group, United for EP. Yeah, this is the group. There's a few people involved now, but anyway. There's my boy Stu Peters. Let me see if I can find where I commented. I mean, that's just kind of crazy. Like, I can't find that. Like, replies. Oh, this is how I do it. Replies. This is it, guys. This is it. This is it. Look at this. Watch this. So watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
La tête est cassée, hein.
Mais c'est rien fait.
Ah, tu vas où?
C'est rien fait.
So this is the video. It's a guy. He pushes this woman. Okay. Oh, let me slow down. Let me slow down. So they're on top of a subway. This is clearly in Europe. You hear even the accents and people talking. I think I see pharmacy, Pharmacie over there in the background. So maybe this is French. Maybe they're in France. So it's a guy in jeans, very fashionable jeans. They're all cut up and stringy and distressed looking, which is extremely fashionable. And I'm sure he picked that out himself this morning. He's got a really cool jacket on with way too many fucking zippers. I'm talking about 2 on the left chest, 1 down the middle, a left pocket on the left side. He has 2 on the chest. 2 on the chest. Right next to each other. Boom and boom. 2 zippers on one side. Three zippers on one side, including the one where your hand goes. So anyway, he's got a mask on, which he has pulled down under his neck, which is one of my favorite moves. And he's on the phone. And so there's a lady next to him who's going down the stairs into the subway. It looks like she's making her way there. There's no context before this. The way it starts is the lady's looking at him. He's looking at her. He's on the phone. He casually removes his left hand out of his pocket. And then he just shoves her real good down the stairs. Thankfully, she like catches the wall and the rails a little bit. And like somehow she didn't fall and just like crack her head open. But he shoved her really good, and like everybody else comes up behind them, like 1 to check on her, and 2 to like ask the dude like, what's the deal? And then you just see him walk off the camera, and like that was it. And all the people are just trying to see like what's going on and see if the girl's okay. All right, all of that to tell you that Stu Peters decides his perspective is that the war, this is what he said, the war on whites continues to rage. And by the way, whites is with a capital W. It's just like, I don't know. And so here's what I said. Man, honestly, you keep posting a lot of this and it just seems inflammatory and divisive when there is no context. You can't just claim that the, quote, war on whites continues, quote, just because an altercation occurred involving 2 races. We need the full story. And I see a lot of other people commenting similar things in the majority of his posts, and they just say, you know, this is race baiting. That's what they say, or this is, or you want a civil war. Like, what is the deal with you being so divisive and inflammatory? Like I said, somebody thinks that. I think that Stu is like, if you don't know about the CIA's involvement in racial tensions during the 60s, I encourage you to read this book, Racial Tension in the 60s. So this was like during like Martin Luther King, but there's a book that actually shows that, and I hate telling you guys this without giving you a reference, but there's a book that shows that that details how the CIA was involved in instigating the race war. They were involved with like planting people in the Black Panthers group to rile them up more, plant people in the KKK, rile them up more, plant people in these white supremacist groups and like super ultra Christian groups, and like rile them up more and just incite a race war. That was their intention. Don't remember the name of the book. Doesn't matter. I mean, honestly, you guys can probably Google that real easy. So anyway, all right. Hey, how do we want to wrap it up? Because it's getting late. I'm getting hungry. I'm getting really angry about all of this. I'm getting angry about Stu Peters. I'm done with Stu Peters. How about we do like you want to do some? Oh, I gotta show you guys this. Yo, I gotta show you guys this. All right, we're gonna do ad hate. Check it out. I gotta go to Instagram. Miami. No. It's called Amped. There it is. So, all right. Welcome. All right. I need a sound like no. Like welcome. This is brought to you by Pfizer. This is another segment of Ad Hate. And this one features this amazing gym in the Miami area called Amped Fitness. First of all, hate that word just as a brand, like Amped. It's a little hard. Could have come with something cooler. Just saying. So here's Amped Fitness. They are a chain of gyms. And they have, here it is, Amped Fitness, 8,000 followers, 3,000 following, looks like probably it's a new place. They just opened. It says now open. Step into your feel good era in our brand new gym. Cardio and strength equipment, recovery, childcare, saunas, and more. Shit, I didn't know they had a sauna. I'm about to stop talking shit and go sign up. My gym doesn't have that. So anyway, it's not that anything's wrong with anything so far, right? But I want to tell you that I got an ad from these guys on Instagram. And y'all think I'm kidding, but I'm going to show you what the ad was. And it hit me real hard. It hit me real hard and made me want to go sign up for this gym. Here it is. Ready? Please observe. All right, so it's a girl. She's in a Amped Fitness shirt. She's walking up to a big... Hold on. She's walking up to a really big, I'm talking really big, pink throne that's huge. It's a huge pink throne. It's way bigger than she is. It's under this really sexy white lighting against this like black tile wall, and it's got this big giant, the big stupid like neon signs. It's like in every Miami restaurant. It says like live your life with no regrets and you'll have a better life, or like it's always some fucking really like, hey, ruin your life today and have no regrets tomorrow, or something stupid like that. And this one says Queen AF, which is really cool, and like I say that ironically. But but when I saw this, I couldn't imagine that people are seriously using this. And if I was at this gym and saw people like stopping a set, and by the way, this is all around the gym shit. Like this is literally right next to like the pec deck and the squat rack, and and so someone will be finishing a set and then go up and sit on this thing and start doing like Instagram hour. I just don't know if that's what the gym is for, though. I was just like, well, 2020. In 2023 it is. Have y'all seen all the videos of people like, I saw one the other day, this girl's working. If y'all don't know, there's so many videos of girls working out and recording themselves working out and then getting really hostile with somebody that they think is like looking a little too hard or like watching them work out or something. But it's like, yo, you're literally wearing like, some little cheeky thong and like a damn like spaghetti strap thing or whatever. I don't know. And expecting everyone to just be like, I didn't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about. And the guys that are getting in trouble are just like literally that. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I didn't, my eyes are just looking around. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful or anything. They're like, how dare you? The one I saw the other day, the girl was like, can I help you? And the guy was like, huh? And she was like, can I help you with something? You need something? Do you need to stare longer? And he was like, I'm just cleaning. Like, and she's like, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. And he was like, I mean, do you need to leave? Like, what's going on with the attitude? Like, or something like that. And she's like, she goes on, she just goes, like, gives him like some attitude. And then he's like, well, actually I work here. And like, if you want to leave, like, you can leave and we can do that. You know, she's like, okay, fine. I'm leaving then. And she just like packs up her shit. And then the end of the TikTok, she's crying. And nobody feels bad for her. You know what I mean? Like, nobody feels bad for you. You're being a bitch to this dude for no reason. He just works here. He's cleaning. You're filming yourself doing whatever. But it's like, we can't, like, if we can only see it if we see it on your Instagram. But if that dude's there cleaning the equipment and like he happens to look over at you doing whatever the hell, like that's getting in your business. The fuck? I thought that's what you were asking for. Attention. That's what all the dudes are in there doing, like with the damn y'all seen the dudes now? Dudes just wear straight up spandex pants. Like it's not shorts or there's no underwear underneath it or anything. It's just straight spandex pants. That's it. So I mean, what are they asking for? It's the same thing. That definitely doesn't help you lift more weight. I can tell you that. It definitely doesn't help improve your cardio in any way. I mean, I think the only thing it does is maybe make it feel a little bit more like you're working out in your bed, in your pajamas. And maybe that's a little better. But how about maybe be like a stand-up citizen, put on some fucking clothes and go to the gym? How about that? You know what I mean? Just my opinion, bro. So anyway, continuing. So she's really loving it. This is so freaking loud. I'm gonna stop the music. That's enough. So they're just zooming in on it. They're showing these lunges right here. These lunges. Oh, what's with the pause? I don't know what that pause was. They're showing the weights. Look, literally look. The squat rack's right next to it. You thought I was lying. Now it's the Smith machine, which makes sense because that's. I forgot about the one for the guys. It says Boss AF. It says Boss. It doesn't say King. It doesn't say King AF, first of all, which is hilarious that it's not King. Who is Boss AF, man? Who's more Boss AF, you think? The Rock or Joe Rogan? Who's more Boss AF? Which two of those bald guys are more boss? So, yeah, that was it. So fucking stupid, man. I couldn't believe this. I mean, my jaw hit the floor when I saw this. Like, oh yeah? Oh yeah? I don't know. Am I being judgmental? I just can't imagine people really seriously use this. I couldn't imagine choosing this gym based on this feature. Have you seen the Boss AF throne that they have though? Oh man. All right. So listen, guys, I would love to do some more. I would love it. I would really, really love it. But unfortunately, I got to get to work. Like I said, I've got a few big exams coming up, and that means that I have to give you guys another episode very soon, and because I don't want you guys to leave me. So, yeah, with that, I hope the best for everybody, and big peace, love, and blessings, and just hit me up. Find me on Twitter, guys. Find me on Instagram. My Instagram is just simply my name, at Justin Moreira, however you want to say it. I'll respond to them all. All right. So catch you guys later. Love you so much. Text me, tweet me if you want to reach me. Bye-bye.